Once upon a time, there was a young woman known in her village as Red. Red had no family living inside of her village, but her grandmother did live on the other side of the forest, and she would walk to visit her once a week to bring her anything she needed to survive from the village. One day, she was late leaving because of gathering the supplies that her grandmother wanted. It wasn't much, just a loaf of bread and some milk, but Red waited until the last minute to collect these items. It was nearing dark when she finally headed into the forest towards grandmother's house, but Red was not scared. She had traveled this path many times. Upon entering the forest on the path, Red casually strolled along, stopping every once in a while to gather some wildflowers as a gift for grandmother. About halfway through the forest, Red stopped again, not to pick flowers, but because she heard a strange growl coming from behind the tree. Slowly she approached the tree, looking around, when suddenly a large wolf, standing on his hind legs, jumped out from behind the tree, and Red fell backwards to the ground. "I'm sorry to scare you, my dear," said the wolf, reaching his big hairy paw down, trying to help Red up. "I did not mean to scare you." Confused, Red stared at the big wolf as he helped her up. Brushing off her dress, she replied, "That's okay. I was not expecting to see anyone in the forest at this time." "I was not either," replied the wolf. "Where are you headed this fine night?" "Oh, I'm just going to visit my grandmother on the other side of the forest. I pass this way often, but usually not this late." Thinking to himself as his stomach growled in hunger, she would make a fine meal. Grinning mischievously, the wolf bowed to Red. "I'm sorry to have delayed you, my dear. Please carry on. I am sure your grandmother is waiting, worried that you are so late. Have a good night, my dear." The wolf turned and walked in the opposite direction and left Red standing in the middle of the path, even more confused at his abrupt departure. Shrugging her shoulders to herself, Red turned and continued on her way. Meanwhile, the wolf knew a shortcut to grandmother's house, and as quickly as possible he made his way there to await the arrival of Red. When the wolf arrived, he snuck into grandmother's house and found her already in bed with the fire burning in the fireplace in the kitchen. Creeping around to the bed, he pounced on grandmother, slicing her open. He made sure that all her blood was put into a wine bottle that was set on the table. He made quick work slicing up the leftovers and placing her neatly in the cupboard. No sooner had he finished cleaning up the evidence of his evil, Red arrived, knocking on the door. Disguising his voice, the wolf said, "It's unlocked. Let yourself in, my dear." Just as the door opened, the wolf made it into grandmother's nightgown and cap and jumped into her bed. "You must be hungry from your long walk through the woods. Please, eat some meat from the cupboard and drink wine on the table." Red placed her basket on the table and made herself a plate of meat and poured some wine. "Would you like anything, grandmother?" Red called out.
"No, thank you, my dear. I've already eaten,"
the wolf replied. After finishing her meal, Red cleaned up her mess and went to grandmother's room to check on her. Only a candle was lit in the bedroom, so Red could not quite make out grandmother.
"Come closer, my dear, so I can get a better look at you."
Red moved closer to the bed.
"You look tired from your long walk in the woods. Come, lay down in bed and rest a while."
Red removed her cloak and walked to the other side of the bed and climbed in. When she rolled over, she felt something that felt like fur rubbing her legs. Suspicious, she focused her eyes where her grandmother was supposed to be. She caught her breath when she realized it was not grandmother in bed with her, but the wolf from the woods. Deciding to try to play it off, she said, "I have to go to the privy first. I will be right back." Red hopped out of the bed just as the wolf, still disguising his voice, said,
"Hurry back, my dear. It is getting cold."
Quickly, Red went out the back door like she was going to the privy, but instead went to grandmother's shed. There, she found just what she needed. Walking back to the house, she hid the axe in her cape and walked to the bedroom. Climbing back in bed, kneeling on her knees, she swung the axe at the wolf, cutting his head off. Quickly, she swung the axe over and over, blood spraying everywhere. Exhausted, Red got up from bed and went to the kitchen to clean herself up. While washing, she began to wonder what happened to her grandmother. Looking around everywhere, she finally came to the cupboard and realized the meat in there was not deer like she originally thought it was. It was grandmother, because there in the jar were her fingers. Quickly, she gathered her cape and basket and fled into the dark forest, unaware that the rest of the wolf's pack was waiting for a signal. Seeing Red run out of the cabin, the pack decided it was time to take action and surrounded Red on the path. Red dropped her basket and grabbed the bloodied axe she had just used to kill the other wolf. She swung the axe and made contact with one, but the others were attacking from all directions. Knowing then at this point there was nothing she could do to save herself, she laughed out loud and hysterically and then surrendered herself to the pack. They tore Red apart with their sharp teeth and claws, leaving nothing of Red behind.